This morning I'm going to continue preaching through the book of Proverbs. And the title of what I want to talk about this morning is the importance of what we say. And before I do the preaching, I've got a lady on a rap message. So you've got to tune in real quick to hear what she's got to say. But I thought this is really fantastic, especially on this topic. Watch what you say. I think Maurice sent this to me months ago, and I've just been waiting for the right time. So listen to this lady. It's really quite inspiring.
To be a survivor in this amazing race with a need for speed, you need God's grace. And if you're desperate like housewives watching Days of Our Lives, you can't cope without hope, and that's not on a soap. If you're looking to Oprah or Dr. Phil, you can shop nonstop or pop a pill, but the void won't fill and the pain won't kill till you love the one that hung on the hill. Kicking back in your lazy boy easy chair watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Nah, you're not going to find it there. No American Idol or Council Tribal has a final answer that'll satisfy you. CSI ain't got a clue. SVU don't know what to do. Not the ER or the OC, nothing on a CD, TV, DVD, or MP3 can save you and me. CNN's got no good news. Here's a headline: you must choose. It's not a simple life, Paris Hilton. It's treading on thin ice, living in sin. You can be an apprentice for Donald Trump or eat Fear Factor fast food from a dump. You can be a heavy hitter, a Wheel of Fortune winner, a Fox News no-spin spinner, a flat-out sinner. But you better check this life that you're living and make sure your sins are forgiven. I bet you 50 Cent, Elvis done came and went, and eventually every black-eyed pea, Gwen Stefani, P. Diddy, and Britney, every wannabe on MTV with the icy bling, every Dixie chick that sings, they all gonna see the King of Kings. I don't care if you're J-Lo or Leno or Bono. One thing you gotta know, someday you're gonna die, bro. Then where are you gonna go? Hey, I'm not talking some punk junk that's irrelevant like your grandma's church from way back when. It's not some preacher feature on TBN that you need to be liking or listening. The real superstar is Jesus Christ. He's the way, He's the truth, and the life. One day He's going to split the sky. He's the brightest light and the highest high. So what I came to say and what I'm telling you is don't buy that stupid stuff they be selling you. It's all designed to fill your head and waste your space until you're dead. Here's the bottom line of my rhyme: give your life to God while there's still time.
You got to rerun that about 6 times to get all the words, but I thought it was really fantastic. Great, inspiring stuff. When I was a kid, I remember getting teased and bullied and all the rest of it, you know, and you do it with other kids as well. And one of the favourite little sayings we had was, "Sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you." Now, I've learned over the years, and I'm sure that many of you have as well, is that's not true. Words can do a lot of damage in our lives, and some of you bear the scar of that in your life today, words that were spoken into your life. The book of Proverbs is full of sayings about the use of the tongue. I want to read some verses from Proverbs 26 and from verse 18, and this is in the New Living Bible. It's just about the use of our tongues. Proverbs 26 and verse 18. Just as damaging as a madman shooting a lethal weapon is someone who lies to a friend and then says, "I was only joking." Fire goes out for lack of fuel and quarrels disappear when gossip stops. A quarrelsome person starts fight as easily as hot embers light charcoal or fire lights wood. What dainty morsels rumours are, but they sink deep into one's heart. Smooth words may hide a wicked heart, just as pretty glaze covers a common clay pot. People with hate in their hearts may sound pleasant enough, but don't believe them. Though they pretend to be kind, their hearts are full of all kinds of evil. While their hatred may be concealed by trickery, it will finally come to light for all to see. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down on others, it will roll back and crush you. A lying tongue hates its victims, and flattery causes ruin. Don't brag about tomorrow, since you don't know what the day will bring. Don't praise yourself, let others do it. A stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but the resentment caused by a fool is heavier than both. Anger is cruel and wrath is like a flood, but who can survive the destructiveness of jealousy? An open rebuke is better than hidden love, and wounds from a friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. Anyway, there's a collection of verses there about how we can speak or talk to one another. I just want to talk about three headings this morning about the importance of what we say. And first of all, I just want to talk about watch what you say. Many of you have had those moments when you've been in a group of people and, you're all telling your stories and you tell a bigger one and a bigger one, and on the spur of the moment, you say something that you shouldn't have said. And as soon as you've said it, you're kind of grabbing the words and trying to stuff them back down into your mouth again, Anybody else done that? You kind of, you just regret it as soon as you've said it because you know you shouldn't have said it. Rob Harley tells of a time when he was tripping around Australia. He got a phone call from a close friend, and he wrote this. He said, "I quickly realized from the tone of disappointment in my friend's voice that something was amiss. It turned out that in casual conversation I had passed on some information, quite sensitive stuff, close to this person's heart, to a third party to whom I had no right to be speaking about it. It was clear to me almost immediately that I had been extremely ill-disciplined in my conversation that week, and I had let my friend down badly. It was one of those awful moments when you can't think what to say to try to make it right, and I broke off the international call with the issue unresolved. As I sat on planes travelling from one part of Australia to another, I had that most awful feeling in the pit of my stomach. I knew I had wounded my friend deeply. Finally, I reached my destination, and after a series of calls, I poured out an apology and begged for forgiveness and the chance to make things right. My apologies were accepted, and it was as if a 10-ton weight had been lifted from my shoulders." Now, some of you have been in situations where you've said things that you've immediately regretted, but you can't take them back again because they're already out there and they've already hurt somebody. The Bible's full of verses where it talks about controlling your tongue. James says we should keep a tight rein on our tongues. Paul said in Ephesians, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth." There's a story told of a guy who went to a Jewish rabbi with a question. He said, "Rabbi, I understand why God commands us not to kill and not to steal, but I don't understand why we shouldn't tell lies against our neighbours." Well, the rabbi replied, he said, "There's an answer and I'll give it to you, but first I want you to get some feathers and place one on all the doorsteps of the houses in the village. And when you've done this, you come back to me and I'll give you the answer." So the person did as he was told, and he returned to the rabbi. "Now, Rabbi, what is the answer to my question?" "Ah," said the rabbi, "there's one more thing I want you to do before I give you the answer. Go back and pick up all the feathers off the doorsteps." "I can't do that," protested the person. "All of the feathers will be blown away by the wind by now." "That's what it's like with lies," said the rabbi. "They are like feathers. We can never retrieve them once we've spoken them out. And they're out there in the wind, as it were." Proverbs 25:18 says, "Telling lies about others is as harmful as hitting them with an axe." That's pretty brutal, smacking them over the head with an axe, but it's as harmful as doing that. James 3:2 says this, "Those who are never at fault in what they say are perfect." And I would suggest that none of us here today are perfect. There are things that we say sometimes that are out there and they hurt people. Indiscretions, we say things that someone shared with us that we weren't meant to pass it on, and oops, we have, and it's out there. We're not perfect. So what do you do when you say things that you shouldn't say? What do you do about it? Well, sometimes you have to rely on your friends not to pass on what you've said. You ever been in a group of people and friends together? I mean, I've done this. And